This is Joey Cassata, and you're listening to the Joey Cassata Show.
No, you fucking moron. Do it right.
This is Joey Cassata, and you're listening to the Paulie Z Show.
All right. Yo, 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 what's up? You're listening to the Paulie Z Show, and this is episode 9, and this week I apologize. I'll apologize, and I'll probably apologize again in the show for having such a lame guest. But this week, my guest is going to be none other than my drummer in ZO2, and you might know him from Z-Rock, Joey Cassata. Joey Cassata. And the reason I'm calling Joey is because this weekend we were in California at NAMM, which is a big music convention, and we also hung out in LA, and there was so many stories that I almost feel like this has to be a 3-part podcast because there's so many funny things to talk about. We're going to try to pick at least the highlights. And Joey was with me. He was my partner in crime, so he has the best perspective on it. And obviously, you know, he's great at storytelling, especially telling stories that make me look bad, which is what this whole show is about anyway, right? So, you know, we're going to do that. And then I think now I hung out with Benny Boy when I was out in LA because that's where he lives. So I think maybe for the bonus, if you want to check that out, I'll call Benny and get his perspective a little bit on some of the stuff that went down. That you would have to go to the website, which is thepauliezshow.com if you want to check out the bonus footage. You know, and I heard, actually my producers have told me that our numbers are extremely up from the beginning when we had our 3 and 4 listeners. We're like in the last episode, I think, what was the number? 1,500?
Yeah, over 1,500.
All right. Over, this is my producer extraordinaire, Alex, over 1,500 downloads, right? Is that what it was? Downloads. That's not even counting the website, like people that go to the website. That's just iTunes. So if you go to iTunes and you type in the Paulie Z Show and then you like subscribe to it or you download it, that's incredible. I was just thinking if we hit 15 listeners, I felt that we would have been successful. I would have been very happy. But we're at 1,500 plus. That is nice. And I actually saw Rod Morgenstein at NAMM. And funny story, he was telling me, he's like, it was, you know, we never met before, and then we did the interview, so it was nice to put a face to the name. And he's like, hey, Paulie, finally nice to meet you, blah blah blah. And we're talking. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm good. So I gotta get the phlegm. I can't talk with phlegm in my mouth. What was I talking about? Oh, Rod. So Rod comes over and he's like, you know, nice to meet you, blah 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 blah. And he goes, yeah, it was. I said, thanks for doing the podcast. He goes, yeah, you know, I don't really know much about that kind of stuff, and I was thinking, you know, how many people are really going to hear this thing? Like, you know, it's like, is this going to be just a throwaway? And it's like, yeah, whatever. I'll, you know, if anybody hears it, it'll be fine. He tells me like literally a couple days afterwards, I didn't tell you this, Alex. He told me he heard from some girl emails him from Japan and said, I heard you on the Paulie Z Show. I love the new album. I listened to it because he recommended it. Great job, blah, 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 whatever. Like, from Japan. And he was like sincerely surprised. Like he was looking at me like I couldn't believe it. Like I didn't know what to expect. And he goes right off the bat, some girl's emailing me and I would have never, you know, had that fan. So he was like, thank you. So anyway, I'm glad I could help, Rod. All right, so let's get to the story. I don't want to talk, you know, all day. Before we get to Joey, because you know me, I can talk, and I probably fill up this whole podcast by myself. But we're going to call Joey now, and we're going to go through some of the things that happened at NAMM. Hopefully we can get all of them in. If not, we'll save them for next time. So let's see if we get him on the line. I apologize to all my listeners out there for the crappy level of guest today.
Yo.
What's up, freak?
What happened?
What happened? No, nothing much. Listen, I was just apologizing to my listeners for having such a crappy guest this week, but you know how it is. Sometimes you got to go for what you got to go for.
What listeners? I thought you said you only had like 3 people from China listening right now.
No, that was before. Now it's I think we're up to like, I don't know. I think we had 1,500 people last week or something like that.
Yeah, right. Okay.
No.
Anyway.
I'm serious. No, we checked the iTunes. That was the last episode. It was 1,500 downloads.
Paulie, just like Chris Jericho, the guys who run your show are playing a joke on you.
Well, if they are, I'm like the guy in the Matrix. I'd rather don't give me the pill. I'd like to think that people like the show. So,
Oh man, what's happening?
Well, listen. Well, I was just telling everybody that today, look, I could have. There's so many people that I could have called for this week, but I thought you were the best person because you were with me at NAMM, and I was just explaining a little bit in the intro about how we did the NAMM trip. And it was so many funny stories. It almost needs a 3-part podcast. But I thought the best person to talk to would be you because you were there firsthand, and you're always good at telling stories that make me look bad. So let's start with, first of all, and I obviously we got to try to shorten them so we can fit them all in. But let's start with just tell everybody what happened just getting to LA in the flight.
Well, this story alone is probably going to take up your whole podcast.
Oh, my God. We might have to make this a double podcast.
Oh, God. Well, you picked me up in the cab like you always do on the way to the airport, and we always discuss how we're only going to take a carry-on bag because it's just a pain in the ass to check our bags.
Right.
So I have my little duffel bag, and you have your roll-on bag like the stewardess carries. So you're frequent, you don't have your roll-on bag that you usually take. I said, I'm only going to take a duffel bag this time. I figured it'd be easier. But I said, don't worry, Paulie, you'll be fine with that bag. Absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. Obviously, everyone knows where this is going. So we get to the airport. First, Paulie, for some reason, carries around a flask with him. Nobody really knows why. I have a flask, too, but mine has alcohol in it. Paulie has a flask. It's really more like a canteen with water in it, wherever he goes.
Because I'm a singer.
But it always spills out in your bag.
No, it doesn't spill. It's got the water sweats.
But every time I'm with you, you're screaming how everything in your bag is wet from this stupid canteen you carry around with you, but yet you still carry it.
Well, I'm getting used to it, but continue. So what happened?
So anyway, we get to the airport, we get to the security, we're going through. Now, everywhere you go with Paulie, it's really like being with Larry David at all times. He's always in trouble. Someone's always yelling at him. He's doing something wrong, and he's getting in trouble. So we go through the security, of course. I go right through like a normal human being. Paulie goes through. Now, he's got his bags all over the place. He's just a mess. He goes through, and, of course, they stop him because of his canteen, which he forgot that's in his bag. Now, not only is it metal and it's setting this thing off, but it's also filled with water. You're not allowed to take any liquids on the plane. So the security guy, what does he do, Paulie? Go ahead.
All right. Well, basically, try to shorten it. He tells me I have to get rid of the water. So I said, okay, can you just pour it out for me? He had a garbage can right there. He goes, no, sir, I can't do it for you. And I said, well, I'll just drink it. It's just water. I'll just drink it now and then be on my way. He goes, no, sir, I can't give it back to you. Once I confiscate it, I can't give it back to you. If you want the canteen back, you have to be escorted by security outside the airport and come empty it out and come back in. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? It's just water. Just throw it out. Can't do it, sir. Can't do it. That's the protocol. So the security guard takes me, starts walking me. I see Joey's face too. Like, it was like so.
I'm mortified. Wherever we go, I'm embarrassed to be with him.
So the security guard takes me over and he starts walking me. And now this guy doesn't care. He doesn't care about protocol or anything. He's not one. We call them the sheep robots, right? The sheep bots.
Right.
Is it the people that just follow?
They can't change protocol at all.
And Joe does is complain about people like this. So anyway, this guy, the security guy's like, what's in the thing? I'm like, it's just water. He goes, well, why do you can just buy water in the airport? I said, nah, but I'm a singer and I always carry my own water. He goes, is it special water? I said, no, it's just regular water. He goes, why don't you just dump it out? I said, I tried. The freaking guy over there won't let me do it. And he looked at me and he stopped and he looked at me like, are you kidding me? And he goes, come here. He opened the thing. He dumped it out and he goes, go, have a great trip. That's a human being that thinks. The other guy's a sheep bot.
Right, exactly. It's one of those sheeps that just do what they say and that's it. So anyway, now Paulie finally gets through security. Now, that's 15 minutes. Now already I'm upset. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. Now we're fine. We're running on time. We have plenty of time. We're going to eat breakfast. So we stop and eat breakfast quick. We hear our flight being called. All right, boarding is starting to take place at, right around, I guess it was around 7:30. So we take our time. We finish our breakfast. We go over there around 7:35, maybe 7:40 at the latest. Right, Freak?
Yeah, because it was like what was the 7:20? No, they were boarding 7:50, and 7:20. The flight was 7:50. We got there literally 7:25. I remember.
Now, somehow, some magical thing happened. Every single person is already on the flight when we get there.
Ridiculous.
So it's like, what is going on? We're the only two people they're waiting for. So we get over there, and we see them with these tickets. So we go, come on, guys, we're waiting on you. So I walk right through, of course. They see a regular human, a handsome man walking through. They let him right through. Then they see Ronald McDonald behind me with his roll-on bag. They say, sir, excuse me, you have to check that bag. Unfortunately, there's no more room on the overheads. So Paulie again, here we go. Larry David, here we go. He starts flipping out.
Well, hold on. I go crazy because the whole point of taking that bag was so we didn't have to check. And I said, well, will I be able to get it right out the plane? Right out of the plane, when if they check it and then they just give it to you. She's like, no, you'd have to get a bag check. So I'm flipping out because that's the exact thing I try to avoid is going through bag check, right?
But it's almost like you have a target on your head. It's like, here he comes. We have look at the way this guy looks. We have to mess with him. It's really like that's what happens. I think.
All right. Enough with the the elaboration. Let's get to the story.
So he flips out. I'm not checking this bag. That's the whole purpose of carry on. I paid for my ticket. There has to be a spot for me. So you can't take the bag. So they almost physically take the bag from him and tag it. I got to go look to see if there's room. Sir, we can't let you on the plane to see if there's room. I'm going to go anyway. So, again, I'm walking ahead, mortified. Paulie gets on the plane, asks one of the guys right at the door, how long till takeoff? The guy says, probably about 10 or 15 minutes. You got plenty of time. So Paulie, of course, sees this as an opportunity to see if he can fit his bag. Goes on board. He starts opening. Now, the plane is completely full waiting on us already. He starts opening up all the overhead bins to see if he can fit anything. Now, people are like, oh, Jesus, all my stuff is up there. What is this maniac doing?
Well, the stewardess comes over. She goes, sir, can I help you? I said, yeah, I'm just looking for an open space. She goes, well, if the things are closed, that means they're full. I said, yeah, that's what you tell me, but I don't believe you. So she didn't know what to say. And I'm like, is it against the law to open them up? So if not, I'm going to continue. And I found on my third bin, I found space. Somebody's jacket, of course, was taking up half the thing because people don't know how to pack. I moved it over. I said, is this space enough for me to put on my roller bag? She goes, sure. I said, I'll be right back.
Right. She didn't realize he didn't have his roll-on bag. Right. Security check. So he tries to exit the plane and run up the ramp to get his bag. And security and all these maintenance guys are, stop, sir. You can't leave this plane. Where are you going? Now, you got to remember, this is an airport. Everyone is sensitive, terrorists, bombs. We got a maniac that looks like Mrs. Roper running up the ramp trying to get his bag back and force it back onto the plane. So everyone's flipping out. I really thought he was going to be tasered and arrested.
I actually thought I was going to be arrested. Not tasered, but I thought they would arrest me. Because
I was more hoping you were going to be tasered.
Well, at that point, I was so far in that it was like one of two things. It's like you either just swallow it and say, you know what, okay, whatever. Or you get to a point where it's just like you might as well just go all the way because it'll at least make for a great story. And at that point, that's how I felt. I was like, you know what, I'm already so deep into it that I might as well go all the way. And I started going, I left the plane and started walking, and they went crazy. You cannot leave the plane. Get back here. And I said, look, my always go-to excuse is I have medicine in my bag. I need that bag. And as soon as I said that, one of the maintenance guy goes, oh, I'll get it for you right away. If you got medicine, I'll go get it for you. He brings the bag, runs up the ramp, gets it for me. And I said, oh, thank you. He says, take your medicine and I'll bring the bag back. I said, no, I need the whole bag. Otherwise, I'll be sick. So I grabbed the bag. And
what does that even mean?
And I don't know. I just told him, I don't know what I'm saying. And then guys are in front of me say, sir, you cannot bring that bag. It is against the law. You can't bring that bag on this plane. And I said, watch me. And I walked on. And you know what? I figured, what are they going to do? They're not going to physically touch me. You know what I mean? Unless it's actual security. These guys are like the...
Yes, exactly. They're going to call security and arrest you.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
Onto the plane.
Until that happens, I was going to do what I was going to do, and I figured I'll suffer the consequences. And luckily,
I'm, just so you know, from my point of view, I'm 30 rows back. The whole plane is aggravated watching this, like, oh, my God, what is happening? Can we leave, please?
And I love the thing is when I left the plane, the guy goes, oh, sir, we're closing the doors we're leaving. I said, you told me we have 10, 15 minutes. He goes, no. Well, we changed our mind. He said, right. The pilot reserves the right to leave whenever he wants. I said, so leave without me. I'm getting my bag. Anyway, I got my bag. I brought it. I forced it on. put it in the thing, sat down, and I was,
So he sits down, he's huffing and puffing. The two people right in front of us turn around and they just say, guys, we just want to tell you we're huge fans of the show, of Z-Rock. And now we know where you guys get your episodes. We just witnessed an episode. It was classic.
It was great. And then remember the head stewardess, the guy comes over, kneels down, he goes, sir. And this was like after we took off, he's like, I just want to explain, I understand where you're coming from, but for the future, once they tag a bag, they have to put it on it's just legal things, it's paperwork. So if next time that happens, please just let them do it. And I said, look, you look like a nice guy. You're not like those other guys. So for you, I'm going to agree and say yes. But just so you know, I'm lying. The guy didn't know what to say. He's like, I just have to tell you. You could do whatever you want. I just have to tell you. I said, okay. I said, because listen, it's the sheepbots. That's what it is. Nobody thinks. They just do what the paper tells them to do.
I agree with that, but you are also an idiot.
Yes, I agree with that too. So we agreed to agree. All right, so now we're at NAMM, and this year, more than any, I think you would agree with me, right, Freak, that we didn't get to do anything because all we did was take pictures and sign autographs. It was insane.
Oh, it was crazy, right. I want to know, everyone we run into, too, I want to know why you only have drummers on your podcast. What's the story with that?
Well, you know what it is? I have to say, drummers, though, I notice, are just the most down-to-earth out of all the musicians. They seem to be like the most, just easygoing as far as talking and stuff. So, I have nothing against drummers, just you. No.
What do you think? Singers are usually very down to earth, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah. we're mental patients. But I got a bunch of people lined up. It just happened to be that I got along nicely with the drummers. Anyway, so we go and we hook up with a bunch of people. We're meeting people. We're, and saying hi to old friends, all of our endorsements and stuff. And the first night we were there was Friday. We go out to dinner with Mike Portnoy and Chris Jericho. Now, it's amazing how this running story of the Jericho screwing me with the tickets keeps going. Now, I don't think I ever told people what happened last time. And if I did, I apologize for repeating it, but I'll repeat it again. The last time we went to see Jericho, this was in Jersey, Joey calls Jericho ahead of time and says, Chris, you got to play a joke on Paulie. You got to put his tickets in my envelope so he thinks you forgot again. So the freaking bastard does it. I get to the thing with Brian again, my little brother Brian, the same situation. Joey gets in front of me, gets his tickets. Very, very smooth sleight of hand, by the way, to hide those tickets. And, sir, there's no tickets under that name. Are you kidding me? And didn't you say Mike, like Portnoy, was like racing to get there just to see my expression?
Portnoy all along was texting me, what's going on? I said, listen, we're at will call. I can't hold him up anymore. He says, please, I'm on my way. I'm running from my car. I got to be there.
So he knew
what was trying to race it. Oh, he knew all along, too.
Yeah, I didn't know. And David was there, too, this time, and he knew. And meanwhile, I'm going crazy, and Chris is texting Mike and Joey saying, is he going crazy? Oh, I wish I could be there. This is so fun. Oh, my God.
And if anyone could see Paulie's face, he looked like a little disappointed schoolgirl that someone just knocked over his books. He was so upset.
Well, anyway.
When he saw that his tickets weren't there again.
They finally told me, and then at the show, for anybody because we got a lot of emails and tweets about people seeing us on SmackDown. If you saw that episode of SmackDown, you can see me and Joey in the background when Mysterio was in the crowd after he beat Jericho. And I had my Y2 jerk sign. And I got I have so many responses from that. Like, I saw you guys on SmackDown. I love your sign. So anyway, Joey has now he's like, freak, how do you not get back at Chris? This is the perfect opportunity. So I was like, oh, okay. So what do we do? So, all right, good, Joe. So tell him what happened.
I came up with, listen, I'm trying to pull their strings just so they keep pranking each other because it's fun for me. I just get to sit back and watch all the time. So I come up with a little scheme. We're going to dinner, and we're going to get there first. So I said, listen, tell the waiter anything Chris orders to drink, just to keep bringing him wild drinks, crazy drinks. Don't ever bring him the right drink. Don't worry, we'll pay for the drinks, and just keep, almost get an attitude with him. Say, sir, this is what you ordered. I'm pretty sure this is right this time. So Chris was going to keep getting frustrated. It would have been a big joke, ha, ha, ha. So Chris gets there. Of course, Paulie cannot play a joke for his life.
Wait, hold on. First, it worked out fine because he ordered white wine, and the guy brings out what looked like white wine. And we're thinking, the first thing we're thinking is like, wait a second, this guy chickened out, like he pussied out. And then all of a sudden, Chris goes, he's like, his wife was there too, and he's like, honey, taste this. Is it me or is this apple juice? She goes, it's apple juice. And then we looked at each other like, yes. And it was like everything was going according to plan. It's like he got apple juice. And what did I do?
So Chris is like, oh, guys, what the hell? This is apple juice. And he goes, are you guys, is this a joke? And my partner and I were sitting across from him, and Paulie's right next to him. So we're playing a call. Like, no, we're just talking. We're not even paying attention to him. And Paulie goes, what do you mean it's apple juice? Hold on a second, Chris. And he takes out his camera and starts videotaping.
And I'm like, what happened? Chris, tell everybody, what just happened to you? This is weird. And he goes, I got apple juice.
It's already almost a giveaway now that we're playing a joke on him. I'm kicking Paulie under the table to put the camera away because he's giving it away. So Chris brings the waiter over. He says, excuse me, sir, this is apple juice, I think. This is not white wine. He goes, sir, I'm so sorry. I don't pour the drinks. It's the bartender. I'll be right back. So he comes back 5 minutes later, gives Chris another glass of looks like white type of liquid. Chris takes a sip. This time it's beer. He goes, all right, that's it. This is beer. What is going on, guys? And we're like, what? I'm like, I have no idea what's happening. Portnoy was totally cool about it, too. Of course, Paulie goes, Chris, why don't you take another sip of that beer? So obvious. So, of course, Chris said, all right, that's it. Forget it, Paulie.
I screwed it up. I'm so bad.
Good attempt, but you didn't get me.
Well, how is it that I can't act in that scenario, but I'm the best actor on Z-Rock? What? That's so, it boggles my mind.
No, you act like an idiot on Z-Rock. That's the only reason you're good at it.
Yeah,
you're trying to play cool.
I admit that I screwed it up. Joey had a perfect scenario, and I got too giddy, which is why I don't play poker. Remember when I had the full house in the casino in Detroit? Yeah. I'm all in. The guy's like, I'm not. He goes, your hands are shaking. I'm pretty sure you got the full house. And I'm like, what do you mean? I could be bluffing. It goes, yeah, the big smile on your face is giving you away right now.
Unplanned, Paulie actually wound up pranking Jericho anyway, because what happened was we park at this local little motel to go to NAMM, to the NAMM show. And as we're leaving, the guy runs out. He goes, where are you guys going to dinner tonight? So we told him, where's the place, Paulie? Buca de Pepo?
Yeah, Buca de Pepe or something. Yeah, very good, by the way. So delicious food. Excellent.
He runs out. He goes, I got a coupon for you guys. So Paulie, of course, immediately has to have the coupon, has to have money off. Grabs it's like a $10 off coupon. So I'm embarrassed.
It's $10. $10.
So we get to dinner. Chris, the check comes. Paulie goes, let me get that. So he never reaches for his pockets or anything. So Chris goes, Paulie, I noticed you have deep pockets and very short arms. What's going on? You have little T-Rex arms. You never really reach into your pockets.
Well, he was nice enough. He was nice enough to take care of the bill. You know,
so Paulie figures, if we're not going to chip in, at least let me give you this. Here's my coupon. So he gives Chris Jericho a $10 coupon.
The dinner must have been like $400-something, right? It was like 7 people.
Yeah, it must have been $400. I have no idea. So Chris goes, Paulie, I don't need the coupon. It's okay, please. No, you have to take our coupon. If you're not letting it, you have to take it. So Chris reluctantly puts the coupon in with the check and his credit card and gives it to the waiter. Now, Paulie and I have to rush out because we're driving Mike Portnoy over to the Sabian drum party that night. He's late. He's actually hosting at 7 o'clock. It's about 7:05 where he's running super late. So we leave. We never see Chris pay the check. About a half an hour later, Chris texts us, Paulie, thanks so much for the coupon. It expired 6 months ago. So
even that, I got to tell you, Freak, getting that email, that email actually embarrassed me. When I got that text, I was like, oh boy. That was funny. I have to admit, that cracked me up.
I just pictured Chris giving the coupon, embarrassed to give the coupon, giving the credit card for the $500 bill, and the waiter coming back saying, sir, I'm so sorry, this coupon is expired. I'm going to need an extra $10 from you.
Oh, so in the end, I got him anyway. I just didn't know it. So the moral of the story is, in order for me to prank someone, I have to do it without actually knowing that I'm doing it.
The moral of the story is for you to prank someone, all you have to do is be yourself.
Right, exactly. So much easier. So then the next night, I'm schmoozing. Joey's doing, the next day at NAMM, Joey's signing for Ludwig, which I don't know why they would have him sign for anything, but And I'm working my way into the Ludwig signing line, and there's like Matt Sorum's there from Velvet Revolver, Guns N' Roses, and John Frenyug from Blackstone Cherry, and like Chris Cornell's
Paulie has no signings from his endorsements. They don't want him anywhere near their company. So he comes and bothers me while I'm doing my stuff.
But I'm making friends with the Ludwig guys, and they're cool guys and stuff. And now I'm like, guys, we got to try to play a prank on Joey. He's always playing pranks on somebody else. Let's see if we can do it. And they're like, yeah, okay, let's get him. And that next morning, there was a Ludwig photo shoot, a big Ludwig photo shoot with all the drummers. And I said, you know what? Well, why don't you do something like where you say, Joe, I don't know what you said to the CEO yesterday, but he's really pissed. He doesn't want you in the shoot. You got to leave. So the day of the thing, I'm giving the guy the wink, and I'm like, "You're gonna do it?" He goes, "Yeah." So he walks up to the photographer. All the drummers are there with their drum skins and their signatures and everything. He goes up to the photographer, and the photographer's like, "Oh, hold on, before we do the next picture, Joey Cassata, is Joey Cassata here?" And Joe's like, "Yeah, that's me." He goes, "Yeah, you got to leave the picture. I don't know why, but they don't want you in the picture." And what'd you think as soon as he said it? Did you know right away?
I knew right away. Of course I knew right away. First of all, I see you snooping around talking to everyone, whispering. And then I said, what this guy, what the hell kind of joke? Is this a joke? So I said, yeah. I said, I'm the only handsome one in the photo. I said, I got to stay here. So I throw right back at them. They can't prank me.
We tried.
I'm too quick.
We tried. Too sweet to be beat, right? Too sweet to be beat.
Pathetic attempt.
And but I did wind up sneaking my way into the Ludwig after dinner where I got fed nicely. And I might be getting a drum set from them.
Oh, God Almighty!
And then
it's really pathetic. It's really Larry David. It's hanging out with Larry David.
So then the final. I mean, there's so much to talk about, but we're trying to keep this short and sweet. Then the final thing. Then last night that Joey was there was Sunday, and before I drive him to the airport, we decide for shits and giggles that we're going to go to the famous Joe's Pizza. Anyone from New York knows it was Bleecker and Carmine, was very famous. How long, freak? Like 60 years, 40 years, something like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's been there from when my grandmother was there, so it's got to be at least 50 years minimum.
So, and it's considered like the best in New York, like, or if not the best, like one of the top. Like it's like authentic New York pizza. And Joe goes crazy. Joe's still like, you talk about me, a little schoolgirl, Joe, when he meets Joe from Joe's Pizza, because he grew up with that place. It's like, you can introduce him to Paul McCartney, wouldn't care. It's like Joe from Joe's Pizza. He starts getting all giddy.
Absolutely. You got that right.
So now Joe opened up a couple places in California. So we go to the Santa Monica store, and Joe's there. And we're like, look, Joe, our weekend's pretty much over. For shits and giggles, we want to eat a 20-inch pie each.
Just what I want to do right before my flight.
Yeah.
My 6-hour flight back to New York. It was a good idea.
So anyone who follows our tweets would see that because we were tweeting it while we were going. And it's always the same thing when we do an eating contest too. First of all, you'll never beat me. Second of all, as long as there's no like super short time limit. But you and Dave, you always start out fast, like the hair.
First of all, let's explain. I don't know if you have pictures on this website of yours, but you should throw a picture of Quado up. We like to call Paulie's stomach Quado from the movie Total Recall, that little man that lived in that other guy's stomach.
Open your mouth.
Exactly. Paulie has another little human living in his stomach that helps him eat.
That's
so
not
it's not
fault.
fair. It's always two against one.
Yes, I do call my stomach Quado because I got abs of steel, baby.
Oh, yeah.
So, well,
put that on the website.
No, it's okay. So anyway, so this is a 20-inch pie right now. Freak, you're telling me that's larger than a normal pie generally?
A normal New York large pizza is 18 inches, yes.
Okay. So
that's a big pizza. Usually, like if you go to like Pizza Hut or Domino's, they're like 14 inches or even maybe 16 inches. So this was a 20-inch pie.
And the other thing was to change up the taste a little bit. We did like a couple of fresh mozzarella. We did a couple of regular. And then we also did the white slice, which is delicious, but it is definitely heavier than a regular slice. Right? Because with the regat and everything, the garlic and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Definitely heavier.
So anyway, we wound up, people watching, gathering around. Joe's like, I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Right. Nobody. We had 2 pizzas on the table just for us. Nobody thought we were going to do it. We went through the pizzas pretty easily. I was, by the 8th slice, I was definitely feeling it. I didn't want a 9th slice, that's for sure. So Paulie, of course, Quado kicks in, and he goes, you know what, Joe? Give me 2 more slices. So, of course, Paulie had to eat 9 and 10.
Yeah, well, I can because I had to win the contest. I didn't want to just have the pie. I knew you could do the pie. I was pretty sure. Although you slowed down, you were way ahead of me, and then it always happens the same. I eat at a steady pace, and you and Dave and anyone else, you start eating quick, and then 3/4 of the way in, that's when it hits you and you slow down. And I'm going pretty steady, so I was like at I guess it was number 8, and I said I got plenty of room, so I was like, Joe, throw me 2 more. And he goes, you are kidding me, right? That this guy's not a human. and Benny Boy, who people know, my listeners know, Benny Boy, who does the CD reviews with me and stuff. He was there and he was hosting it, and he couldn't believe what he was seeing. It was like out of this world. So I wound up having 10 slices. Joe had 8 slices. How was that flight home, Joe?
My skin was emanating garlic the whole trip. I pooped twice on the plane.
Oh,
okay. It was awful.
Yeah, I definitely.
I felt pretty good, but it was just I didn't smell very good.
Yeah. Well, I know how you felt because I was, the last few days I've been like pooping like a maniac. Like I need, you know what I mean? Like the floodgates have opened and I don't know how to close them.
I gotta tell you, I actually think it was some kind of diet thing because me too. I've been pooping like crazy. It's actually made me feel good. So whenever you want to lose weight, kids, just have a pie pizza.
Yeah, and then poop it out. All right. Well, listen, Freak, I know you got to run, and I gotta run. I'm glad you were able to come on and talk about this. Obviously, there were so many other little stories that we could have talked about, like the real quick, the Chad Smith, and when I met Chad Smith, and he was playing, and I'm like,
I mean. There's Chad Smith, there's Glenn Hughes, there's the Man of War
guy.
The
Man of War. Oh, Dave Schenkel. You know what? Maybe we'll get you on next week, and we'll have that as a bonus. We'll talk about a couple of other little anecdotes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's at least 5 more we got to talk about, so we should make this a 2-parter.
Okay, definitely. But I think we covered the big issues of me almost getting arrested, the coupon with Jericho, and the botched prank, and the pizza pie debacle. So
the only problem is I'm sure by next week, since we're going to be playing Tampa this weekend and you're going to sing the national anthem, I have a funny feeling there's going to be 100 more stories because you're definitely falling on the ice.
Shh. All right. What are we? I'm going to have to do like a podcast every day. All right. We have so much to talk about. It's ridiculous. Hey, be happy you finally made it to the actual podcast. You're not on the bonus anymore. Dave's pissed off. He's like, why am I always on the bonus?
What do you mean be happy? I don't want to be on the podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll put you back on the bonus then.
It just so happens that I have all the funny stories to tell.
Right. That is true. All right. Well, listen.
If you want to hear like computers, like that ask Dave to come on.
Right. Well, actually, what happened was at 12:05.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, and I hope everyone enjoyed the stories. I'll talk to you later, Freak. All right.
Later.
All right. Bye. All right. Well, there you have it. And as I told you, there's so much to talk about that we can't fit it all in one podcast. So maybe next time I'll get him back and, we'll put him on the bonus and we'll just talk about a couple of little anecdotes. I always say antidote, and that's wrong. It's anecdotes. And we'll discuss that and give you some more funny stories. But when I was out there, I did go to Cassata again. I know I mentioned that last time about a restaurant that I recommend. And I went there with... a guitar player from Steel Panther, and we'll talk about that, the Steel Panther show, on the bonus section. So make sure you go to the website for the bonus section with Benny Boy, because he was with me. And and I had some of the same stuff that I had last time. Again, the skewers are incredible. The sea bass and the cod skewers. Even we ordered like 4 servings of them. We kept ordering it. He was like, "This is the most amazing thing I ever had." But I ordered a few things that were different than last time. That I figured I'd just go over real quick. The eel avocado rolls were incredible. So fresh. He ordered a salmon skin roll, which I don't usually order, but it was good. It was a little more crunchy than the typical rolls because the skin is, I guess, like fried or seared or something, but it's a crispy flavor. And then he got octopus, which I'm not a big fan. I don't like the texture. If you like octopus, I guess it's probably good, but I can't really recommend it or not recommend it just because I don't like it to begin with. So I don't know what to tell you guys. But I also, for dessert, I got this tempura ice cream. Now, it comes out and looks like cheesecake. Like that, you're thinking like, did they bring the right thing? They were like 2 wedges, and it looks like cheesecake. And then you go into it, and it's the ice cream, vanilla ice cream with that tempura coating. And some, strawberry, raspberries around it, a couple of strawberries and chocolate sauce and a little bit of like fruit sauce. Oh my God, It's excellent, delicious to die for. So you got to get that. So I definitely recommend going to Katana. But a couple other places, Joe's Pizza, which is a famous New York pizza place, which is out in L.A. now. And obviously you can see I'm a fan of that because I had 10 slices in my belly. Quado was very happy that day. So go to Joe's. And my two favorite places when I go out there, the Griddle and the Rainbow Bar and Grill. That's a famous place. Anybody who knows rock and roll has probably heard of the Rainbow Bar and Grill because that's like Zeppelin used to go there and Guns N' Roses hangs out there. I mean, everybody goes there back then and even now. And Joey and I, the first night we go there, and who's there? First of all, Dave Navarro's there having dinner. He comes over and he says, "Hey, good to see you, Paulie," whatever. And then Frank Stallone's sitting at a table. He's like, "Paulie, hey, come sit down with us. Let's have some food." So we wound up having dinner with Frank Stallone. And, some of the things I recommend, I should probably do a proper Rainbow Bar and Grill review because there's so much to talk about. But just right off the top of my head, you got to get the mozzarella cubes. They're not sticks. They're like cubes. They're outrageous. Outrageous. And we ordered 2 orders. And Frank was like, nah, I got to be up at 5 a.m, hit the gym. I can't eat. I was like, just try one. He goes, okay. And he tries one of the mozzarella cubes. And he's like, whoa, that's good. And he kept going. I'm like, Frank, what happened to the workout? He goes, oh, these are good. So, very, very popular at the table. And but you know what? I'll save the Rainbow for another time because there's really so much to talk about with them. I have a large list of food that I can recommend. So what I will do is talk about the Griddle. The Griddle is this place. It's on Sunset, and I forgot to cross street. It's like across from the Laugh Factory, if anybody knows what I'm talking about. And they have the most amazing pancakes I've ever had in my life. And the biggest, the huge, like bigger than my face. And you can get 1, 2, or 3 stack. And their French toast is incredible. Like everything they have is amazing. The bacon is outrageous. And what we do is we usually get like the peanut Bubba French toast and you ask for Nutella on the side. It doesn't come with it, but you can ask for Nutella on the side. That is outrageous. And if you can do it, I don't know how big your stomachs are, but maybe if you have a few people you share, you have to get the golden ticket. That is the pancakes that come with, what is it? Hold on. I think it's banana, walnut, like caramel syrup, cinnamon, whipped cream, something like that. But it's outrageous. Outrageous. Like I'd literally fly to LA just for the pancakes and then fly back. So golden ticket pancakes, peanut butter French toast with Nutella on the side. The bacon is it's excellent. Excellent. But it's not just regular bacon. I mean, it is delicious. And also if you're going to go for something like lunch, the burger was very good. Very tasty. Like not just plain meat. Like you can taste the flavor in the actual meat and they're using real raw meat. Like it's not a frozen patty. I don't know how to explain it. When you taste it, you would know what I mean. It just tastes fresh. And the shrimp pesto melt is really, really good. Excellent, excellent. The things I don't like there, I don't recommend. The apples, eggs Benedict, they weren't great. The apple pancakes, for me, were a little too dry. Their potatoes, for some reason, like their French fries and their home fries, I don't know. They're just not, maybe Californians don't know how to do their carbs. All the healthy stuff's good, but I shouldn't say that because the pancakes are good. Just stay away from the potatoes. That's my recommendation. And I didn't like the sausage. No, didn't do it for me. But so there you go. If you go to the Griddle, you know what to get. You know what to stay away from. All right? Well, I'm getting hungry talking about all this stuff. So I think that'll be the end of this episode. Remember, if you want to check out the website and hear the bonus footage with Benny Boy, it is thepoliezshow.com. If you want to email me, I'm sorry I didn't get to any emails this week, but hopefully next week I'll read some. It's yopaulie@thepoliezshow.com, and it's YOPAULIE. And iTunes, if you want to get our numbers, maybe next week we'll hit 2,000. That'd be great. So go to iTunes, type in The Paulie Z Show. And one last thing, while we were doing the pizza contest, Joey and I were tweeting the progress. So if you want to check out the tweets and you want to follow me, just go to, Twitter.com/ZO2Paulie. So the letter Z, the letter O, the number 2, and Paulie. And I guess that's all the plugs for today. That is it. I will talk to you later. Make sure you check out the bonus with Benny, and I'll see you next week. Later.